conference. This Phoenix conference, number one, is going to be beautiful, warm weather that I know we're all ready to get out that way for to experience, as well as a great COABE networking and presenting time. It's going to be a lot of good learning going on. We're very excited about this conference. We have with us today a number of folks. I'm going to turn it over now to the conference chair, Dr. Donn out of Virginia, and he will lead you through the rest of the conference. Thank you so much for your presentation, and we look so forward to meeting you. Thank you.
Thanks, Kaye, and thanks to you, participants, for your contributions to our conference. You know, without your submissions, your proposal submissions, and your sessions, this conference wouldn't be what it is. The COABE conference has been known for years now. It's the leading conference in adult education, and the information, the techniques, the things that are going on in your classrooms and in your programs are really what make this conference so popular with our membership. So on behalf of the whole conference team, I want to welcome you to this webinar, and I want to thank you for your contributions. At this time, I'm going to pass it back to Sharon, I believe.
Well, hello. Thank you so much, Donn. And I too would like to welcome everybody. I have a couple quick housekeeping things I just wanted to mention. First is that if you would kindly put your name into the chat box over here, along with what state you're joining us from, that would be fantastic. So over in the chat box. And then also you'll see there in the chat box that we've put a link, and that is specifically regarding LCD projectors. We will not be providing LCD projectors at the conference beyond the 10 that we have on hand and the few that we're able to gather in with our state association, with our state partner. So what we're doing is we're asking presenters that if you are interested in an incentive, it's $100 towards next year's conference, that if you'd be willing to leave your projector with us for the 3 days, we'll make sure that there's security and that it's taken care of. We'll give you $100 towards COABE 2019 in New Orleans, Louisiana. So we have a link there. I'm going to put it in again. And if you're interested in participating, you'll sign up, and we'll be back in touch with you in more details, but that will put you in so that you will, each person who signs up and who leaves their projector with us over the course of the conference will receive $100 towards COABE 2019. Okay, so without further ado, I'd like to turn this over to the star of our show, which is Jody Angelone. She is the presenter chair, and she's been with us for many years and served faithfully on the COABE board, and has been a wonderful asset. So Jody?
Thanks, Sharon. Okay, so, and Sharon, you can pull up the PowerPoint then?
Yes, ma'am, just 1 minute.
Thank you. So while Sharon is doing that, I want to say good afternoon to everybody, and again, welcome everyone to the COABE Presenter webinar. Again, my name is Jody Angelone. I'm the current COABE Vice President for Membership and this year's Conference Presenter Chair. I'll be co-hosting today's session along with our app coordinator, Chris Binnix, and Michelle Chiles, the COABE Operations Director. We will be addressing your questions throughout the webinar, so if you have any questions, please feel free to type them in the chat box at any time throughout the presentation.
Sorry, Jody, it'll just be a second. We have a technical difficulty here.
Okay. So while Sharon's pulling that up, I'll also share with you that along with Michelle and Chris and I, you've heard from Sharon, our COABE Executive Director. We also have Kaye Sharbono, our President, Donn Finn, our Conference Chair and President-elect, on with us today. And I believe Hector Martinez, who is our IT Tech Chair for the conference, is also joining us today. Great. So additionally, I do want to share with you that we'd like to thank Aztec Software, who has generously sponsored the COABE app and today's webinar. A representative was not able to be with us today, but we are, I think right now, we'll be sharing, oops, bear with us a second. Well, while we're working through these couple things, okay, it looks like it's coming up. Thanks, Sharon. Thank you for continuing to put your information in the chat box. Okay, so let's move forward. Here's today's agenda for the webinar. I'm going to give you a brief overview of what to expect as a presenter, check-in requirements at the conference, an overview of the presenter's webpage, and review some important presenter details. Additionally, we're going to take time to answer any questions that you may have for us. Once we've reviewed the general information and answered all of your questions, Chris will walk you through the COABE app and share some app tools and tips for you as presenters. Next slide, please. So let's start with the presenter check-in. There will not be a separate presenter registration sign-in at the conference. Registration staff and volunteers will have a list of presenters, and your envelope will identify you as a presenter. This will be for all presenters and co-presenters. You will receive a presenter envelope, which should include your presenter ribbon. If you do not have a ribbon in your envelope, just let one of the registration volunteers know, and they will provide one for you. We ask that you are signed in at least 3 hours prior to the start of your session. If this is going to be a problem for anyone due to your arrival time, your flight time, and the session start time that you have, please notify us at COABE prior to the conference. Donn and Michelle have worked really hard to keep our conference strands and presenters in zones, so you do not have to travel long distances between sessions. There are close to 400 sessions being offered this year, so it is not a small feat, but they have made every effort to make sure that there are no double bookings and to try to accommodate all of your requests. Next slide, please. So So what can you expect to find in your presenter envelope? One is the ribbon that I stated in the last slide. You'll receive a presenter ribbon that you can attach to your name badge holder. There will also be a map of the conference hotel. The conference area is quite large, but it's fairly easy to maneuver. So please review the map and if possible, try to locate your room prior to your session. There will be volunteers throughout the conference area to assist you. Volunteers will be wearing red vests, so they're fairly easy to locate. I know that Donn has worked really hard on logistic details for the conference, and he plans to make getting around the conference as seamless as possible. In terms of general information, your packet will also have some additional presenter information on uploading your presentation and your materials to the COABE Adult Educator Resource Repository. We will also include some social media and COABE app information in the packets and encourage you to use social media and the app. We hope that you will also share this information with your session attendees. We will also provide our Twitter handles and Facebook page information, and we encourage you to use this to promote your sessions prior to the conference and during the conference. And additionally, we'll have a FAQ document in your packet, and we've put this together based on past questions that presenters have asked related to presenting at the COABE conference. Next slide, please. Okay, so to upload your PowerPoint or resources to the COABE Adult Ed Resource Repository, you can go to this page, and to upload, you can log in at the top right side of the page. If you're returning, you should see the login. You can go in. Hopefully, you've saved your information, and it will go right into the repository. If you're new, you can click on the Register Now button and create your account. Once you've done that, you will have access. And then, as you can see here at the top of the page, the Contribute area in the ribbon. Once you have logged in, you can click on the Contribute link at the top of the page. This will then you'll be asked to input some information about your presentation and the materials that you're uploading. And once you've done that, you'll be able to drag and drop your files for upload. And next slide, please. All right, now I'm going to take you to the COABE webpage and provide a quick overview of what you can find on the presenter's webpage. Hopefully, most of you have already been here, but if not, we're going to take a few minutes to highlight some of the important details.
Jody, can you see the page?
I can't. Can anyone else?
Okay, then let me reshare my screen.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Can you see that now?
Yep, great. Thanks, Sharon.
You're welcome.
Okay, so here at the top of the page, you will see the presenter confirmation. You should have all received an email asking you to confirm your presentation by January 15th. And all of you, but a handful, have already done so. So hopefully you have confirmed your presentation and accepted your date and time. If you have not, you should have received a follow-up email and even possibly a phone call from COABE asking you to do so. It's very important that you confirm your session so that it's not canceled. We currently have 397 sessions scheduled for this conference. So if you've not yet confirmed, please contact the COABE office following this webinar. So next steps, I want to go to the hotel section if we can, is to make sure you've taken care of your hotel reservations. The rooms are going quickly, so don't delay. The conference hotel is the Sheraton Grand Phoenix, which is currently sold out. It's a great location, sitting adjacent from the conference center and within walking distance to more than 40 restaurants, boutiques, and seasonal downtown entertainment. From the conference webpage, you can click on the Hotel and Travel tab to access additional information, maps and transportation information about, and also then information about the Overflow Hotel, which is the Hyatt Regency Phoenix. As you see, the room rate is a little bit more than the rate that we were able to secure at the Sheraton. But again, because of availability, you want to make sure that you get your hotel reservations taken care of as soon as possible before it sells out. If for some reason our Overflow Hotel would sell out, please check the website to get up-to-date information on other hotel services in the area if we need to make that available. So again, if you've not already made your hotel reservation, you're going to want to do so as soon as possible. And again, we've provided a map and additional hotel resources and transportation information on that presenter webpage. So one of the other items that you need to do is register for the conference if you have not already done so. As of today, we've had 302 presenters that have registered for the conference, which means that we still have another 63 individuals who need to register. All presenters must be registered for the conference. Please note that the early bird registration ended on Wednesday of this week, February 14th, and registration cost increases again after March 18th. So please register prior to this date. We want you to be able to get the lowest cost possible. And as we finalize the program and app, we want to be sure that you are included. If your registration is being held up for some reason by your institution, please drop us a quick email and let us know that it's in the process. That way we can make note of this. Membership. Ensure that your membership is up to date. If you are unsure, please contact the membership at coabe.org to check. All presenters must have current membership. There's also information about downloading the COABE app, and again, Chris is going to walk you through some of that information during this presentation. But we really encourage you to download the conference app and utilize that as a presenter. Also, we want to know that we understand that emergencies happen, so if something happens that you cannot make the conference or your session, we ask that you let us know as soon as possible. We want to be able to make the appropriate announcements and adjustments. Additional information that the website also provides are the conference strands and presentation types, information about the session lengths in terms of concurrent sessions, roundtable presentations, and the pre-conference sessions. Okay, so a little more detail for presenters. I want to talk about what will be provided. So the conference provides power carts and screens in all of the rooms and Wi-Fi connection. So as Sharon stated earlier, we are in need of some projectors. Our goal is to have enough projectors so that not everybody has to bring some in. So Sharon has provided a link in the chat box to a form that you can complete to let us know if you'd be willing to participate in an incentive option for sharing and leaving your projector for the full 3-day conference. If you're willing to do so, we're offering a $100 coupon for the COABE 2019 conference in New Orleans. So what should you plan on bringing? You should plan on bringing your own projector, or verify that a projector will be made available. Computer and any special adapters or plugs. So we do recognize too that sometimes your devices or computers have special adapters that are needed, and not always are those provided with the projector. So RGB adapters, Able computer adapters, HDMI, any external speakers or other items that you might need for your presentation, you're going to want to bring along with you. We also ask that you furnish handouts in the quantity needed for sessions. And we're asking that you prepare at least 45 handouts for concurrent sessions and roundtable sessions. So again, what are you responsible for? Registering for the conference and paying the registration fee, all costs related to transportation, room, and board, arrangements and cost of audiovisual equipment beyond what the conference provides, and security of any personal equipment used in a presentation. And again, if you're one of those individuals who provides a projector for the conference for us with that incentive, we will make sure that it is secured throughout the conference time. So the next item I want to talk about is shipping materials to the hotel. Shipping costs for presentation materials, there are some costs associated with this hotel. So if you need to ship materials to the hotel, we've added a hotel shipping and receiving information on the presenter webpage. Please note that there is a fee assessed for both incoming and outgoing packages. The costs vary based on the package type and weight. So I think ranging anywhere from $5 and on up, depending on what's being sent in. So please take a minute to review those shipping instructions. It also provides the address information that you need for shipping your materials. And then certificates. You will receive a certificate for participating in today's webinar, as well as a certificate of appreciation for presenting at the conference. We will also be mailing the certificates of appreciation to you after the conference, along with session feedback. So it's important that you take a few minutes before the end of your session to have the participants complete the session survey. Again, I do want to mention that it would be great if you can try to check in at least 3 hours prior to your session time, and that we recommend you prepare 45 sets of participant handouts. We'd like all presenters to upload your materials to the COABE Adult Education Resource Repository also. So at this point, before I move on to the next slide, I'd like to ask if there are any questions. Sharon, I don't know if there's anything that's been addressed yet in the docs.
I'm just looking right now.
I've been answering the questions in the Q&A.
Great, thanks, Michelle.
Do you want to share, are there questions you feel everybody would benefit from hearing, Michelle, or?
Sure. So one question was, will this PowerPoint be available? And yes, we will have this PowerPoint presentation and the copy of this webinar up on our presenters page shortly, probably by tomorrow, I would imagine, or first thing Monday. Another person asked, will only the lead presenter receive a presenter ribbon? And I said, no, all presenters will, even your co-presenters. And also someone asked about if they were driving in, if we had any tips on parking. So I said I would look into this with the Sheraton Grand Phoenix, and we'll try to get something up on the website by Monday for you. And again, and one other person asked if they're doing a presentation at 8 in the morning, do they have to check in at 5? And I said no. If they could check in at least by 7, that would be great, because we'll be there. Or the day prior would be even better.
Yeah, Michelle, and I want to add to that again, if you know that you're coming in and your arrival time and your presentation time doesn't allow you that 3 hours, if you just even shoot us a quick email so we know that, then we can mark that and we know that that time was a kind of a time crunch for you, but we can still be expecting you. Okay, so I'm going to move on then to the next slide. And this is just a quick recap of, again, what media is covered. So again, the rooms are equipped with a power cart and a projection screen. A courteous volunteer will be assigned to each session. They're there to help you out and to help you set up your materials if needed. They can also help you if you need to contact tech support. What is not covered, you are responsible for providing your own projector laptop device and presentation materials. This may include speakers, clickers, flip charts, markers, etc. Also, what else should you plan on bringing? Any special adapters or plugs, RGB adapters, HDMI, Apple Computer adapters, etc. Furnishing your handouts for the sessions. And then in terms of technical support, as I stated earlier, there will be volunteers that can assist you with tech support if needed. A volunteer will be assigned to the sessions, and volunteers throughout the conference will be wearing the red vest. App support volunteers will also be wearing buttons, so look for them throughout the conference if you have app-related questions. Again, internet and Wi-Fi access will be provided throughout the conference, so this means all meeting space areas will have access for presenters and participants. Okay, so I guess I'm going to ask if there are any further questions that we want to share with the group before we move on to Chris, and then Chris will share with you some information about the COABE app and utilizing the COABE app as a presenter.
Thanks, Judy. We're really excited about the COABE app this year. There's a couple of ways you can download the app. You can go to the website under the conference app tab, or you could just simply type in COABE in Google Plus Store or the App Store on your iOS devices. Okay. Right now, Sharon's showing the tab on the conference page, and if you scroll down to the bottom, a little bit more. There you go. The app is available on also on your browser. You can do that through HTML in the App Store and the Google Play Store as well. As before mentioned, Aztec Software is the sponsor of this app, and we're very generous for them to providing this for us. So on the app, can we go back to the presentation, please? So on the app, there's a number of different features that you can do. You can set your agenda, look up presenters yourselves. You can talk in the activity feed, get information about the hotel. There's a bunch of resources on different tabs and so on. And what I'm going to basically do for you now is I'm just going to demo some of those things for you.
So Chris, I've stopped sharing my screen so that you can share yours.
Yes. Thanks, Sharon.
You're welcome.
All right. Can everybody see my screen? Hopefully.
Yes, we see your screen.
Oh, all right. So once you've downloaded your app on your mobile device or even on your computer, just tap on it, brings it up. And what it brings it to is the home activity page. And this activity page basically kind of works just like you would think a Facebook, or probably more Twitter is more like it. But what you can do is simply, take a photo, say this session's great, and we'll actually post in the middle here on this activity feed. Now, one of the biggest changes, if you've used the app last year to this year, you might notice that the navigation's changed. Before, it used to be along the side, the left side of the app. Now it's down at the bottom, and there's two standard icons down there. There's activity, which is the activity page and your home page. Notifications, which if someone liked your update or followed you or commented to you, sent a message to you, it would show up in the notifications. Or if you've bookmarked a certain session and there was an update on that session, you would also get that notification. And of course, agenda, which has the different days of the conference and all the sessions on those days. Speakers, these are our keynote speakers. But if we go to more, we get a whole bunch more resources. We got presenters, attendees, exhibitors, our diamond sponsors, our other sponsors, our strand partners, the basic schedule of the conference, events that are happening both in the conference itself and off-site, our national award winners, our mini grant winners, the hotel map, which helps us navigate around and get our logistical traffic in order. Volunteers, this is if you're a volunteer also, this would be a good informational thing to look up. Leaderboard. Now, how the leaderboard works is basically anything you do on the app has a point associated with it. And you get to come in and see basically where you stand on your usage next to everyone else. Channels. This is one new thing that we are adding this year, and that is channels. In the channels is actually a session specially for presenters to network, talk to one another, get to know one another. If you need help with a projector, this might be a good place to say, hey, does anyone have a spare projector I could use for the session? It might be good. The conference partner, advertisements, links to our social media, photo feeds, which basically shows all the photos that have been uploaded to the feed, and a couple of other things that are year-round. Now, one thing I do want to show you is how to kind of set your agenda and how you can encourage your attendees or anyone you see to do this as well. Well, let's just say there's a couple different ways to do this. I'm going to go about this way. Let's just say I know someone at this conference. I know I wanted to attend their session. So I'm going to go to presenters. I'm going to find where they are. This guy looks okay. And actually, this is a great way. I got the name, I got what they do. It also shows me what sessions that they're putting on. Now, this guy has a social media session. Well, I'm definitely interested in social media. And I can actually just click on this little plus, and that adds it to my agenda. Or maybe I just want to bookmark it, which is up at the top corner. So it flags if there's any updates with that session or this presenter. I can also rate this presenter. I can say, oh, he was 1 star, or 5 stars, or 3, and it actually saves. I can actually even write a review about this presenter. And this might actually be good for you to encourage your attendees to do for yourself. I know I like to get feedback and critiques because it makes me a better presenter. Also, one easy way to further this is I can actually tap on this session to get more information about it. What I did was I simply just tapped on it. Again, I have the option to add or not add to my agenda. I can add a note. Maybe there's something in this session that I absolutely love. That I want to take a note of, and I can view that again later or share it later as well, or go back and edit my notes. I can also start a conversation within this session bracket. Maybe somebody else is in that session. You actually have a conversation directly on the app with this other attendee that's further back or whatnot. You can even encourage your attendees to do this as well. Now, it's not showing here yet, but each session will eventually have a survey attached to it. And it will appear along the bottom, sort of where the remove from my agenda is. And that will give us a good feedback about that session, and we can even share those results with you if you'd like. Now, since I've added that to my agenda, I've added that session to my agenda. If I click on my photo, which is in the top left corner, I can actually see my profile where I could actually add in, the Twitter feeds, the network, who's following me, what posts have I done about me, so I can tell other attenders about attendees about me. And if I go to agenda and I go to my agenda, it shows me all the sessions that I have picked that I want to go to. And the app even gives me suggestions that I might like. I'm pretty interested in Google Suite, so I think I'm going to add that to my agenda as well. And it carefully plans out my days. I can even export this to my email calendar that I can actually get notifications and pings on my phone when the session is actually coming up. And that is the COABE mobile app. Now, this app right now is very conference-centric. This app actually goes way beyond the conference year-round. Our 2 Capitol Hill days appear on here, and the virtual conference later in the year also appears as well. And there's also normally a whole bunch of resources geared towards our members, adult ed, webinars, educate and elevate, excuse me, getting over a cold, and many resources available on the app year-round. So even after the conference, please utilize this app as a good resource tool for you and inside your classroom. Stop that.
Great, thank you, Chris. I just wanted to chime in and say a couple of things about the app. One is that, as Chris demonstrated, this is a great tool for you as a presenter, but it's a little bit more than just a tool. As many of you know, we use it as a tool at COABE as well. So you've seen many of the presentations and webinars that we've had, and some of them have hundreds and hundreds of people on them. What we do is we look at the surveys from the app, and we look at what presenters get the highest ratings, and that's what we pull from. Is we're trying to find information on presenters that are presenting on specific topics, and that the attendees are completing the survey. So we really encourage you at the end of your session and at the beginning of your session to point that out and ask people to go right onto their app right there, and at the end of your session, and complete the survey. It takes them not even 3 minutes. It's very, very easy. They pull it up, give you 1 to 5 stars, and then we have that information. And the other thing is that a lot of our state associations love that information, because they'll say, oh, I need a good presenter on numeracy. Do you know of anybody? We'll go to look in the app, we'll download, okay, here's all the presenters, here's the presentations that scored really highly, and we feel comfortable passing that name and that information on to the state association. So I just wanted to mention that. We find it really valuable on our end, and we would love for you to encourage all of your session attendees to be sure to to be sure to complete the survey on the app. Okay, so with that, I think I'm supposed to turn this back over to Jody.
I actually think there was a couple questions.
Yeah, I think there's several questions, and so I don't know, Michelle, do you want to address those? Do you want us to address some of those? I think some of them are good questions that we want to make sure that everybody is aware of.
All right. Let's see. I've been answering away, so give me a second to find where I'm at here. So someone did ask about the date for upload, and I'm guessing they were referring to the Adult Educators Resource. And I would imagine that you can upload that anytime now. Sharon, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that you can upload your materials now.
Yeah, Michelle, I'll answer it. I know that the link for the, if you want to upload it under the 2018 COABE conference, that has been added, so you can do that. And you can continue to upload even after the conference.
Wonderful. And again, we've had people confirming that the Wi-Fi is going to be available in the conference presenters room. I said yes. We will have Wi-Fi. A lot of people, again, asking if they have to present at 8, do they have to check in at 5? Again, no, you do not. If you could please check in the day prior. If your presentation's Tuesday morning at 8 o'clock, if you could check in on Monday, if you're in town already, please come and grab your registration. That way we know you're checked in. If you have your registration, that's how we consider you're checked in. So that would be great. We do not have registration open on late Saturday night. Registration opens Sunday morning at 7 a.m. Let's see. Also, a person wanted to know if they were not going to be able to bring a projector, how do they verify that they will have one available for their session? That's a great question. Right now, like I said, you know, Sharon has made that link available. We're going to see who's willing to help and let us use their projectors, and then see what projectors we have on hand, and we'll go from there. So please be expecting an email from us soon. I would say probably at the end of next week, we should have more details coming to you. So keep an eye on your emails, please, for that. Again, will screens be available for roundtables? For roundtable sessions, we'll not have screens or AV. They're simply, you know, you can bring your laptop or whatever you may need if you want, but simply this is just a one-on, you know, not a one-on-one, but a 10-on-1, you know, a talking session that you'll have some time. It's 20 minutes long. You'll definitely want to have your handouts still, but there's not going to be any screens to write on, or people were asking if there was whiteboards available in the concurrent session rooms. As far as I know, no, there's not. So you will have the screen and the power cart for your projectors and stuff, but as far as everything else, if you need speakers, again, if you need flip charts and things like that, please plan on providing them yourself. Another person asked if there will be printer on site. So there is a FedEx office building right inside the conference hotel on the second floor. So if you need anything to be printed or any materials like that, you can do that there. Is there any other questions that any of you see that we should address that I've missed while this is gone?
Michelle, if I can jump in, this is Donn. There were a few questions related to the roundtables, and I know that the roundtable concept, the presentations are pretty new to our conference, and so you did a good job, Michelle, of describing. You know, yes, there will not be, there's not AV, there will not be whiteboards. The roundtables are intended to be 20-second mini sessions, if you will, where you will discuss your topic, and really, if you have visuals that you need, we encourage you to put together handouts. You may want to use a laptop to share with the table, but you probably want to go ahead and you know, definitely have some handouts there as well. We do have Wi-Fi that is available throughout the conference area and in the rooms, and that is for the entire conference. And so if you need to have folks jump on in your sessions on Wi-Fi or anything, that should be available for you. And Mickey, I do apologize if I said 20 seconds for the roundtable sessions. I did, of course, mean 20 minutes. I apologize for misspeaking there. They are 20-minute sessions. There was a 5-minute pass time between sessions 1 and 2, and then 2 and 3. The table will be set up with a number of rooms, or with a number of, the room will be set up with a number of tables. Mickey, now I'm all flustered. But they'll be set up where there'll be a number of tables, so there will be sessions going on concurrently in the roundtable session room, but we envision separating those out, the tables, enough so that you can co-present, hopefully with not having to talk very loud. There is also for the panel discussion, that's a good question. We have designated 2 rooms specifically for panel discussions. Those rooms will be set up with the AV cart, and we'll also have a screen. In addition, the panel tables will have microphones for the panelists because they are larger rooms. The rest of the presentation rooms, the concurrent session rooms, are of a size to where folks should be able to hear you well without microphones. So we did our best for that as well. There was a question also about the pre-conferences. For the pre-conference sessions only, because they do require pre-registration, and there is a separate fee for the pre-conferences, you will be receiving updates a few weeks before the conference as to how many people are registered for those pre-conference sessions. I think that was all that I saw that I could answer.
Donn, there's one other one that I think that was in the chat. How soon before our scheduled presentations can we set up? So what's the length of time in between each session from one ending to the other one so they know when they can get into their room?
There's about 15 to 20 minutes that you should be able to get in there and be able to set up. And we do ask that the presenters, once your session time is over, just go ahead and start breaking down your laptop and so on and step aside so that the next presenter can get into the room and set their stuff up as well.
Thanks, Donn.
Uh-huh.
One other one, Sharon, I don't know, this may be you or Michelle, but several people, it looks like, have asked about how they get their numbers for a pre-conference session. When will they know how many individuals are signed up for their pre-conference?
That's great. I'll let Michelle respond because I know she's been working with Emily on that.
Okay, so you should be receiving an email from our office. Pre-conference count should have went out on the 7th and then again today, and we'll be sending them out every 2 weeks. So please keep an eye on your email. We're sending it to the primary presenter to their email address that you registered with. And, if you haven't received it or you misplaced it, please feel free to email info@coabe.org for the information.
I did see one other question, Michelle, that had to do with somebody said that only one of their presentations is listed under their name. When we listed the presentations, we listed them under the primary presenter's name. So if you're doing multiple presentations and you are a second or a third presenter, your name will not show up as the primary. And so that may be the reason why your name is not showing up for on all of the presentations that you're part of.
Thank you all. So Jody, I think we're turning this back to you, and we can always take more questions at the end as well.
Great. So Sharon has put up, again, a reminder that please remind your session attendees to complete the session evaluation at the end of your presentation. That helps you get feedback, and it also helps us with gathering information and data for future conferences. So, and next. So again, we want to thank Aztec for sponsoring the COABE app in today's webinar. Their sponsorship is greatly appreciated. And we want to share with you also that approximately 75% of our presenters are returning presenters. So we want to again thank you for sharing your expertise with the field. It's truly an honor to present at the conference, and we hope you continue to submit your proposals for future conferences. We want you to save the date on your calendar. The National COABE Conference will be in New Orleans, Louisiana next year, March 31st through April 3rd, 2019. So you may want to mark your calendars with a save the date reminder. We hope that you all have a wonderful conference and presentation experience. And please know that we're all here to help you. So reach out to us if you have any additional questions. And then I also want to mention that the program is the heart of our conference, and there's a lot of time and effort that goes into putting it together. So I want to again thank Michelle Chiles and Donn Finn for all of their hard work behind the scenes. They've gone above and beyond to make this a great experience for you as a presenter and for our conference participants. If you have a chance to meet them at the conference, please take a minute to thank them for all the work they've done to make this conference such a great success. And if there aren't any questions, we'll move on, but if you have other questions, we'll address those really quick before we adjourn. And again, I want to thank you for joining us, and I look forward to meeting you all in Phoenix.
And Jody, this is Sharon. I also just want to thank our partners all. So the Arizona Association for Lifelong Learning has been just a tremendous partner, and they have actually put together an adult ambassador pre-conference and a student strand. It's the first student strand we've ever had at our conference. So a special thank you and a shout out to Laura Porfirio and Regina Suit, who have worked really hard behind the scenes on that, and Kelly Stewart, who is our liaison there at all, who has just been a joy to work with. So we just wanted to, on behalf of COABE, we would like to thank our partner all for all the work that they've done as well.
Thank you, Sharon.
You're welcome. It looks like there's just a couple other questions here. If you'd like, I can read them.
Please.
Okay. There's lots of questions about roundtables. I have the same question. Will I be able to post large sticky notepads to a wall? So there's a question about that. Am I correct in that only 10 people will be able to attend my roundtable? Yeah, so those are 2 questions about roundtables. Donn or Michelle, do either of you want to respond?
Yeah, the round tables are going to be set up. They are going to be tables of 10, and so that is what we are planning for. And again, with 3 20-minute presentation times, you have room for up to 30 folks during that session. When we set up the room, we're going to try to provide enough space in there between the tables, so perhaps we can bring in more chairs. But at this point, it is a 10 top setup. As far as sticking sticky notes on the wall, we're going to go through our walkthrough. Actually, the team is going to Phoenix this weekend. We're going to see what we can do as far as the setup. If we have the space to set them up around the perimeter of the room, that is a possibility, but I have no definite answer for that. And I anticipate, as we put on the website describing the roundtable sessions, we really want people to focus on having handouts or having something that they can show at the table, and not to rely on anything like additional media or screens or posting things on the walls at this point.
Great, and then we did have a question here about the app. So Ira, to answer your question, the presentations are being uploaded by our team internally, actually by Chris Binnix, who did an overview of the app. He will upload the presentations into the app so that people can select those on their agenda. And then you can also, select your presentation in the app so that it shows in your agenda. I hope that makes sense. But if you have any questions, you can always contact us at marketing@coabe.org.
Yes, Ira, if you have a presentation that or even some resource material in PDF format that you want to upload the app, please shoot me an email at marketing@coabe.org and also list of what session it might be in as well. Thank you. And I know Donn answered this, but I actually want to put a little asterisk in this. As of right now, the primary presenter for each session shown on the app just shows the primary presenter. As the app gets a little more polished, the secondary and co-presenters will actually show up as well, alongside the other primary presenter's name. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Donn, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
No, thanks. I believe that's it. We're really looking forward to having everybody in Phoenix. And again, thank you for your contributions and your interest in presenting at COABE. Okay,
great. So it looks like at one point we had a little over 140 presenters on. We want to thank you all for taking an hour out of your day to attend, and just know that we are here and available. As you know, Michelle is so responsive. She does such a good job getting right back to you. So you can always email her, or you can also email info@coabe.org. And just a reminder, if you have not registered for the conference, please do so. If you've not confirmed your session yet, please do so. Please use the app to get the word out about your session, and please be sure to have attendees complete the survey at the end of your session as well. So on behalf of everybody here, thank you all for your time, and we look forward to seeing you in just a few weeks. Thank you. Bye now.